Hello and welcome to the June edition of Community Connect, brought to you by the Marshall Area Chamber of Commerce. This month's guest is Dr. Kumara Jayasuriya, and Kumara is the president of SMSU. Thanks for being our guest this month.
My pleasure.
So as always, we'll kind of talk about some of the exciting things that were happening in the Marshall area in May. Of course, the very first weekend of May is always one of the most exciting weekends of May throughout the year. The college graduation right here on campus. What a great turnout. Lots of, it's always fun because you see all these families coming into town that probably aren't here very often.
That's right, yeah. We had over 500 students graduated this year.
Yeah, it's always, I love the energy. I love the energy throughout town. You see a lot of cars, you see the restaurants are just popping during that time. So congratulations to all the graduates at SMSU. The second annual Shades of the Past drive-in event was in downtown on May 5th. This is an event, not the same event as we're going to have this upcoming weekend. It was just a downtown event. All sorts of cars were in downtown Marshall. That's May 5th. That same night was the United Way Power of the Purse event at Bella Cucina, same time as the car show in downtown. Of course, this has been on a hiatus for a couple of years, so it's nice to have the Power of the Purse back. Of course, United Way is a very important organization in the Marshall area. The annual craft fair was out at the Red Baron on May 7th. Over 100 vendors were on hand. Thanks to everybody who came to the Red Baron, and anybody that came into town, and all the vendors that were set up. One of our favorite events, and it hasn't been around since 2019, is the annual Craft Beer Vendor Show. This was on May 14th, another great turnout at another event at Red Baron. It seems like there's a lot of events all the time at the Red Baron. Yeah, I think of the big international food, I forget what exactly it was called, late April. World Fest, yeah. That was a great event. I know you were involved with that.
Yeah, it was a great event. We had over close to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
950.
And they already have I love how they already had the dates set for next year. So more to come on that event. Also on the 14th, the Marshall Chamber, and more so the Marshall Radio, put on a job fair in the mercantile space behind Bella Cucina. Very nice traffic. We had, I think the vendors came away with a lot of interest in their businesses. And finally, just congratulations to all the Tigers and the Mustang spring teams who are finishing up their schedule. Baseball's got a little bit left. I know golf is finished, softball's finished, and of course all the SMSU teams are all finished too. But congratulations to all of our springtime teams. Again, this month's guest is Dr. Kumara Jayasuriya, SMSU president. So, a few questions. We were talking right before we went on air to this today that the last time Dr. Jayasuriya was on air was March of 2020. Wow. What a crazy time. You think about everything that has happened since then. So you finished up year 3, which included a few years of COVID. How are you feeling about SMSU as you enter year number 4?
That's a great question, Brad. I think we are strongly positioned to continue our success coming out of COVID. As you know, we are the only university in the system that increased enrollment last 2 years.
Yeah.
We have invested a lot of money in technology so we can continue to offer online programs and classes, and we have increased our philanthropic giving to the university, and also we have hired good people, staff and administrators. So I feel like we are in a very strong position to have a good year.
Yeah. So you mentioned enrollment. 18% was a big number a couple years ago. I believe last year was 3%. How are things looking for this upcoming fall, and how has online enrollment helped some of those numbers? So
again, last 2 years have been really good during COVID. We are up again this fall, so this summer. We just started the summer semester.
Yeah.
We are up. However, for next fall, we are slightly down in head count, but we have 2.5 months to correct
Right.
that. So
We got some time.
yeah, we get some time, but online enrollment is way up. That's where we are increasing a lot of enrollment. I think that might be a result of coming out of COVID, because students and faculty are used to
Right.
teaching in online format.
Yep. Yeah. Enrollment stability and growth isn't just focused on new students. Retention of current students is equally as important as they guide students to completing their degrees. In your State of the University address, talked about a program that you would like to be promoted this year. Tell us a little bit more, tell the watchers a little bit more about 15 to Finish.
Okay. Yeah, so last year we received a grant that's close to $600,000 to invest in student success. So we have hired several success coaches, and their job is to work one-on-one with students from groups that had lower retention rate historically, so they have done very well. Our retention rate is up from 67% to around 70 now. It can still go up.
Great.
So 15 to Finish is a very simple concept, but students get confused about it. I'll tell you why. 15 to Finish is almost all our degrees require 120 credit hours. So if they take 15 credit hours every semester, fall and spring, that's 30 a year. They can graduate in 4 years. So it's very simple math. However, federal guidelines says 12 credit hours is full-time, right? Mm-hmm. So students take 12 credit hours and then they cannot finish in 4 years. If you take 12,
Yeah.
that's 24. 24 times 4 is not 120.
Right.
So that's the problem. So they might take 5, 6, sometimes even 8 years to graduate. So what most students don't realize is how much it costs them. So every additional year, they say it costs about $50,000 extra for students. That is for tuition fees, room and board, and also the opportunity that costs being out of the market, especially in this market.
Right.
99.1% of our recent graduates are either working or in graduate school. So that means you have a very, very high chance of getting a job after you graduate. So that's why we started 15 to Finish. So that means take 15 credit hours every semester and finish in 4 years. Mm-hmm. That's what the initiative is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You mentioned something about job placement. That job placement rate is still pretty high, right?
It is. It's the highest in the state.
Yeah, that's something we can definitely pat our back on. That's
Yeah.
really incredible. So you mentioned earlier fundraising. Obviously, fundraising is a big part of your job, Kumara. How is SMSU doing in that space right now?
We are doing really well in fundraising. We got about over $900,000 to invest in residence halls. Last years we have been renovating, and then we added another $350,000 from an anonymous donor. So that work is still happening. And then, as you know, we got a very generous gift from Lockwood family to renovate our Alumni and visitor center. That work is happening too. But more interestingly, there is a big gift coming. I'm not in a position to announce it today, but this is the biggest gift in the 55-year history of SMSU.
Oh, exciting.
And it's happening, and stay tuned for that announcement in next 3 to 6 months.
Oh, very exciting. Wow, good. Oh, that's good to hear. Big announcement. Activities Director was just named. However, there's been several new staff members. Let's touch on Jennifer Flowers and any other faculty or staff that you want to touch on today.
Yeah, so we were very fortunate. Jennifer accepted our offer as the athletic director, and she's coming from Western Collegiate Hockey Association, right?
WCHA, yeah.
WCHA. She's the commissioner there at this point. So she will start on July 1st. We have hired several staff, faculty, and administrators. So I will only touch on few of them.
Sure.
Our registrar started June 1st. So he just started. His name is Eric White. Eric is on campus now. So we have two other president's cabinet level positions. Executive Director of Enrollment Management, Jeremy Reed, will start on July 11th. And then we opened a new position, cabinet level position. It's the Assistant Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Yeah.
We hired Alex Wood, and he will start on July 1st. He's coming from SDSU.
Oh, super.
Yeah, so we have several new cabinet members.
Sure. Well, that's great. That's good, new good energy in some very important areas here on campus. You mentioned earlier, Kumara, the Alumni and Visitor Center. Of course, this is right on College Drive, right next to Everspring, right next to like Arby's. Very exciting, and tell us a little bit more. What can people expect to see in there?
So again, very generous gift from Lockwood Motors and Lockwood family, and it's going to be named Elizabeth Lockwood Alumni and Visitor Center. You can see the name already there. We will have a big digital sign in front of it to let the Marshall community know what's going on at SMSU. So I'm excited about it. That sign is not there yet. It should be there pretty soon. And our Senior Director of Alumni and Engagement, Stacey Fro's office is going to be there, is already there, and she will have several volunteers working there. So our hope is that anyone who comes to the campus, visitors, alumni, and potential students, parents, they will stop by there to get directions, and we can even have golf carts to transport them to the campus so they don't have to find parking and things like that. So that's the plan for Alumni and Visitor Center.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a good spot in town too, right?
It is. It's right in front of the high school, very high traffic area. So I think we can utilize that building. We have not really utilized it to the highest potential in the past.
Right.
It was just there. In fact, it took me about a year to realize that's SMSU's building.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, that's Pat McFarland. It was his building a number of years ago, and he wanted it to go to SMSU. So yeah, it's a great spot. So let's talk about a few more renovations here on campus. What can the community expect? What can the students expect to see for renovations here in the next few years?
So this coming year we have 4 big projects going on. So I already mentioned Alumni and Visitor Center. Inside is fully renovated. If you have not been there, you should go and see. It looks awesome. And outside, they're putting the new sign and doing some landscaping. We have started renovating residence halls year and a half ago, and those are continuing again this summer. So 2 major renovations. We are changing the turf in Regional Event Center. That's a big ticket item. So that's happening. They have already started. I think they have taken part of the existing turf out. The other renovation that's happening right now is the pool. That's a $1.4 million renovation. So that's also undergoing this summer.
Yeah, that was very much needed. My daughter is a incoming 8th grader, and she's on the swim team for the public schools here. And yeah, definitely, you can definitely tell that needed some love.
Right. So next project is going to be renovating the locker room area.
Oh, yeah. Good.
So that has not changed since 1967.
Right. Probably needs a few upgrades.
Yeah, definitely.
So last thing is, a lot of accomplishments. What are some of those things you would want to tell the watchers out there today, that some of the really good things about SMSU, some of the really good the accomplishments for SMSU?
Yeah, so some of those I have already mentioned, and I think this year our teams are going to be really good in athletics. And last year, there were only 4 institutions in NSIC that had both men's and women's basketball team went to, Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
So we were one of them, and unfortunately we didn't get to the finals.
Right.
But I think this is a year to watch. That's one thing, and I think enrollment will continue to increase, and philanthropic giving has increased a lot to the campus. So I think there will be more renovations and upgrades coming up. We also have some concerns too, like all the other institutions in Minnesota. Min State only got half of its funding from the state. So that means we have to cover the rest with enrollment increases. So even though we have been increasing, it's not enough to cover the cost. So that is the financial sustainability is a concern going forward. But I think we are in a very good position, and we are contracting with the company to recruit online students next year. We are close to signing a contract. So I think lots of good things are happening.
Yeah, it's just not just a lot of exciting things happening here on campus, but even just citywide. I mean, there's a lot of just development happening here in the Marshall area. So, well, good. A lot of good things here on campus. And of course, if there's any questions, about admissions, if you're interested in getting your student here, there's always they're very welcoming here. They want you to come and get a tour. So yeah, very exciting times here on campus. So
one thing I would tell the community is that we are growing, but most of our growth is in online enrollment. So our on-campus enrollment has gone down in the previous years, mainly because of COVID. So what the Marshall community can do is help us recruit students. If you know some students, bring them to us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit what we have coming up in June, including a couple things here, SMSU related. Of course, this upcoming weekend, we're recording this on Friday the 3rd. So, of course, this weekend is, and every single weekend, first weekend in June, is the Shades of the Past car show, which includes a drive. It's kind of like a mini parade through town, some cars that are going through town. So that's tonight. And, of course, the car show is tomorrow. One of my favorite golf events is coming up on Friday, June 17th, Kumara. And that's the Drown Golf Classic. That Drown Golf Classic has been around for a number of years. Big benefit, big fundraiser for SMSU athletics.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest fundraisers for athletic scholarships. So that's very important for us.
What's different about this one, too, it's a 5-person scramble. So traditionally, your tournament's going to be 4 people. This is a 5-person scramble, which makes for a really good time. Of course, it's going to be Chamber of Commerce weather that day. It's going to be about 83, a little bit of a breeze, and a good time for all. Similarly, the following Monday is the Marshall Hoops Golf Tournament. This is the second year. I think it's the second year, maybe the third year. All the support goes to Marshall Hoops Club, and this will also be held at the Marshall Golf Course. Woman Day 2022 is back in Taunton this year at the Heritage Event Center. This is through Hope Harbor. This is on Wednesday, June 22nd from 4 to 8:30. More details on the Hope Harbor page. This is a big event for Hope Harbor, so take a look at it. Again, Woman Day 2022. A couple chamber events of note. We actually have 2 business after hours events. One is going to be next Wednesday, the 8th. This is going to be at the where the chamber used to be on College Drive across from Schwann's. State Bank of Taunton is going to be hosting a business after hours. And then the following Thursday, there's going to be a Walk for the Memories. This is going to be at the YMCA. This is going to be another business after hours. This is going to be on the following Thursday, I believe is the 16th of June. All these events and what we talked about today can be found on our calendar, which is at marshallmn.org. You can also find some events on visitmarshallmn.com. That's the visit site. So again, another busy month of June coming up, so it's very exciting. A lot of things that are going on in Marshall. So Kumara, thanks for being our guest this month.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
And next month, we can expect Lauren Dietz, and Lauren Dietz is the EDA Director for the City of Marshall. So hopefully we get some updates on some of those construction projects and happenings I was kind of talking about earlier. So we'll see you in July, and have a great June.